kittens, and the millions listening live around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for the round table.
Hello there. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, to one of the greatest podcasts we have in the wrestling community. This is Roundtable Wrestling. We're here live. We're here on YouTube. You can also listen to us on Patreon and Spotify. And wherever it is you can find us. But check us out on YouTube. Check us out everywhere. Otherwise, we have a very steamed, we have a whole table's worth of people here. He's got the confused Cody in the background. I like that. That's great.
I was confused. Just like,
We'll be talking about that. But
What are you saying? It's awesome.
I caught a riding good mode. I was like, what the hell is happening? I know Cody was the same thing too.
If y'all are watching YouTube, you can see the picture and you see D'Lo Logan's screen. You can pretty much tell what everybody was thinking when they heard that promo last night. Anyway, let's get through the introductions because we got to mention all the peeps here so you all can keep track of this round table. We have the aforementioned David D'Lo Logan up here. Yep. We got Keith Wildman Miller over here.
Hey, live from Ching Chong, China.
Yep, that's a dated reference, but he did that.
No, it just happened on Thursday, brother. Happened on Thursday.
We have Chad Big Ton Vandermark here in the building. In his building. Not all of our buildings.
Live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Exactly, up here in the Midwest with me. And then we have the Bostonian on Eastern Standard Time, Boston Johnny.
What's up, fellas?
And I am the cold-hearted, wonderful host / New Yorker that is Pablo Aquino, coming live. That's a wild statement. We're going to have a good conversation about news today.
Yeah, man.
If I could bring one thing up first, we had maybe three introductions to new TNA talent. All happened at the same time. So the Colognes made their TNA debut.
Ooh,
I announced that they are part of the TNA roster, a stacked roster, while also showing that we have Elijah, another guitar-playing wanderer for TNA. That came out during the Joe Hendry segment where Joe Hendry literally shows that he could be the best heel in the business one day.
Absolutely. That entire segment was just from start to beginning. From start to end. And up until the match started. Basically, that was brilliant. I thought, like the match itself, I felt could have lent itself another 5 or 10 minutes. But the actual start of that entire back and forth, I thought it played out pretty good. I thought the Colognes came out, honestly, the response from the crowd was almost a little underwhelming for what I thought it would be. I thought they'd have gotten booed out of the building, like booed like heels, not like Hogan, but
yeah, not like Tessa.
It felt underwhelming until like Tessa. It felt underwhelming until Elijah came out, or Elias. God, yeah, Elijah. The name changes when they're that subtle really trip me up.
Yes, Elijah, formerly known as Ezekiel, formerly known as Elias.
Yeah, the three of them when he came out. That was again, him and Henry had that natural
David, I'm
charisma
catching
together,
audio.
and it just clicked.
Yeah, D'Lo, something's coming through on your end, bud.
Yeah, man, I can hear something.
TVs make noise.
So the Colognes and Elijah came out at the same time.
Well, it was
Well,
Colognes first, and they came
Yeah.
out while Hendry was singing, doing his whole shtick. And then the Colognes came out and pretty much they wanted to do their coming out party, and they wanted to
They my streaming took away TNA, so I can't record it no more.
Yep.
Wow, that was fast. Yeah, so I wasn't sure if the Colognes actually had gotten signed or if that was just a one-off appearance, but I think that kind of an explanation for the underwhelming response is you got to think about what WWE did to them. Even though they did have a title reign, they were treated pretty poorly.
Yeah, that's true.
They had to do the matador thing, and people in this country aren't really up on what's going on in the Caribbean, so it's not like the stuff that they're doing over there is really gonna get any attention. If they had been smart, there would have been a third Cologne who came out with them.
That'd have been great, but there's that third Cologne, the one that they know the best is tethered to WWE. Like
on the Judgment Day, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean they've got the working agreement. You know what I mean?
No,
and
I'm with you.
And how huge would that have been? Like if Carlito had come out, he doesn't even get to wrestle. If he had come out and it had been a 6-man, all three of the Colognes together, and the crowd was literally chanting, where's Carlito? Yeah, where's Carlito? So I mean,
they'll always say that for Eddie. They're called Eddie. It's Eddie and Orlando Cologne.
Yeah, Eddie and Orlando instead of Epico.
Yeah, I believe Primo and Epico. Now it's Eddie and Orlando.
Yeah,
I did like Santino Marella making that joke though, because he said it was gonna be Joe Hendry and Elijah versus the Colognes. He's like, it's going to smell fantastic.
It's going to smell fantastic.
What a good guy.
Kurajade.
Magnificent.
Yeah,
I love.
We've got some things we can
baby Ari. It's Ariana. I love Santino, dude. All of his little things are so funny. I really wish him and R-Truth could get a segment together somehow.
Yeah,
I'd be dying.
He's been brilliant for years, and I wish he had moved up higher, but I get why in the card rankings and whatnot, but I get why he didn't, because comedy acts are generally not valued. But when you couple that with the fact that he's probably the toughest guy in their locker room, like behind the scenes, like you'd figure he'd have gotten a really good run out of that. But
I mean, didn't he come out of the crowd and beat Umaga though?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, that's huge. He was the first guy to beat Umaga. It just kind of
and he was just some random dude in the crowd, and I can't remember how he got picked, but he got picked out of the crowd, and then and he went in and he beat Umaga, and I'm guessing I believe, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, he got the name Santino Marella in tribute to Gorilla.
Oh, I don't know about that, but could be.
I do know he when he initially came in, they tried to really play him as like a serious wrestler, martial artist, and everything. And then maybe a year later, he started finding his niche with the comedy. And
who was the giant dude who they teamed him with? The giant Russian guy.
Oh, Kozlov.
Kozlov, right? He saved Kozlov's career.
Alone was over, but those two together was brilliant.
Wait, wasn't Santino with Kali when Natalia was with him too?
I don't remember that.
Think so.
I remember he did my dinner with Kozlov, and they
remember when the two of them when they invited Sheamus out for a tea party lived in my head rent free.
Yeah, I remember that.
Would you like ginger tea?
It's one of those weird Well, he was with Beth Phoenix also, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
My
that's
issue
what
though
Chad
is
was
that
just saying.
it just doesn't seem like there's much cohesion between anything else but TNA and NXT.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Like they
Well,
should be. That's what I'm saying. This would have been a good opportunity to take advantage of a
Yeah.
little more than that.
look at what
Bring it back.
Joe Hendry was saying in his song, though. If you dissect the lyrics, he called out a lot
I mean,
of
if it
WWE's top
wasn't for
guys.
Roman Reigns, Joe Hendry would have won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he called that out too.
He shouted out Sheamus for watching
Cena,
and
yeah.
all
Him
of
looking
that.
at his face, yeah.
Roman and Cena, yeah.
Joe Hendry's brilliant, dude. I hope he writes these songs.
You should sell them and put them in an album.
He should. I'd buy it.
Cody Rhodes is a cover, so we can just this face.
Yeah, he's beautiful. He's like Rock.
What I will also say is that
So
aside for there being some Impact debuts, there was a well needed TNA debut of a champion from NXT. And I think this is really cool because Big Moose coming out and challenging a fellow Nigerian champion.
Oh, snaps.
With an X on his belt.
Mm.
I think I do like that this is what this connection between TNA and NXT will bring. You know, Corey Jade's facing Masha. And there's not many people for Masha to face at this point. And there's Oba, if you think about it, is kind of run out of major talent right now, and they're starting to build up people. So yeah, it makes sense to lend. It's obvious that each will lose.
Well, it's good that they're doing more with talent from across the card. Like they got the Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, Moose. Like they're really starting to shine some of the TNA athletes. But when is this gonna turn around? You know, huge in WWE's favor. You know, they don't only make deals that they really come out on top of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm
honestly, my bad, Johnny.
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say, I'm wondering if this is gonna actually lead to like a big feud between the two companies, or if they're just gonna occasionally flirt doing things together.
I mean, from what I understand, what you were saying, Johnny, about WWE doing things in their favor whenever they deal with other companies. That's why they're not part of Wrestle Kingdom every year.
Yep.
Because I remember, I can't remember if it was Jarrett or Omega, but one of them wanted every company that was around on Wrestle Kingdom, including WWE, and that was when the old man was around, and of course the old man wanted his talent to win, and that's not always going to happen.
Yeah, it can't be the way every single time. Even if you are the biggest game in town, it's got to be a back and forth business. It has to.
Exactly. It's a give and take.
It seems like it will be. It'll be a win for a win.
Yeah.
The
biggest thing that I noticed,
my expectation in all of this with Hendry is that I think he's gonna call somebody, put out an open challenge on TNA, probably at Slammiversary. I think Cena's gonna come out and beat him, and then I think immediately after that, Kazarian's gonna cash in his money in the cup, whatever it's called, and he's gonna challenge, and he's gonna beat Cena and keep the belt in TNA, because that does the dual purpose of it gives Cena another title win to add to his overall repertoire, and it has a WWE guy win the frigging belt in TNA at one of their biggest shows, so that could be major as far as
that could be big
on the face of heavy.
There has to be some TNA involvement in WrestleMania. I think with this new deal that they have, it would be really missing out on the ball. They would really, and same thing with TNA, where there should be at least one or two WWE superstars, and I don't really think NXT. I mean, like WWE superstars.
Yeah, like main roster stuff, right?
I would hope so. Yeah.
So two things.
Now I'm questioning if JBL isn't still under contract with WWE.
He is.
He's
He's
not
got
going
a
to be that
Legends deal.
whole
Which
NWO
Yeah.
catalyst.
Right.
He's got a Legends deal, which is why when I was told that he was on TNA TV Impact, I still don't know why he's on TV with TNA, because he's got a Legends deal.
Well, again, that partnership was a huge part of it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, he laid out Effie at a GCW show maybe the week or two before he started showing up in
I remember that.
Knocked his
TNA.
stuffing, bro.
So
But
it's
JBL was on
it's,
TV before this
you
deal,
know,
though.
maybe he's under a Legends contract, but if
Well,
he
before the
already
deal
knew
was
that,
official.
if he already knew the deal was coming, all they got to do is give him a little bit of leeway and make it look like he's doing his own thing.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah. So two things. Freaking Moose looked like he was on Ozempic next to Obafemi.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I always thought Moose was huge.
He's tall.
And, man, next to Obafemi, he looked wow.
Oh
yeah.
Obafemi must be a big cat, because man,
he like 6 foot. He's the old lineman, so yeah.
Man.
Well, he used to be. I was about to say, Moose used to be an old lineman too.
Yeah.
But Obafemi being 6'4", close to like 270, something like that.
Yeah.
I
think last week. Well, this week they announced him at 300 pounds
on Twitter. I was taking my life in my hands. Are you kidding me?
I think Obafemi being 300 pounds is a stretch.
Yeah, I know. You know how wrestling goes.
Everybody's 8 feet tall, 400 pounds.
Yeah, but 270 could be realistic. I mean, he's big. The other thing is, I know that I'm the only person in the universe who thinks this, but I don't think John Cena's winning a match.
No,
I don't think he wins the match.
I can see it. What I'm calling Elimination Chamber to be a double pin.
Yeah,
and they'll find a way to get a triple threat going with Cena, Punk, and Cody.
That's the way I believe that's the way I heard it was supposed to be, because Triple H and the higher ups in TKO, from what I understand, and I could be wrong, they want Punk in the title picture at WrestleMania.
I don't buy it
whether he wins or not.
What I'm thinking though is that he's going to cash in his favor and get himself into the match somehow. I don't know if Paul Heyman would have that push. But
yeah, you got to figure that out.
They also look like they're grasping at strings as far as because Rocky coming out seemed like Damage Control.
Yeah. I had that same vibe that he was coming out to fix something that went horribly wrong.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that, but there was a few little things I wanted to get out there really quick.
Yeah.
Apparently, via WrestleZone, Logan Paul said that he was denied. He was denied being able to go into Egypt because they said that he was going with Mr. Beast and wanted to see the pyramids, but then they probably knew what he did in Japan, and the Egyptian government said that they were not about it.
It basically said, we have no time for your flavor of bullshit.
No, not today.
Pretty soon, the only place Logan Paul's gonna be able to be is Cleveland.
Probably not even that anymore. Yeah. No, that's all right. We have Hacksaw Jim Duggan finally signs a Legend contract.
I don't know why it took so long on either end, but you know what? At the end of the day, good for him. That's cool as hell. He's still around. He still actively wrestles now and then. You can't hate the dude who's been going this strong with 0 scandals for 40 years.
Well, there was one scandal, but
don't tell me that. I didn't know about a scandal.
Dude, you don't know about him and Iron Sheik back in '87 or '86?
I know. I do about
driving.
That.
Okay, so the Sheik and Duggan were driving from MSG to another show and got pulled over, and they had cocaine.
Oh,
they had the cocaine, and they were driving together during kayfabe times, dude.
Oh, during kayfabe times, though. That's a big deal.
This was in the '80s, man.
We don't care about the coke. But why were you riding with him?
Why were you riding together? I remember PWE or PWI did a whole PWI did a whole article about it where they interviewed the Sheik, and he was like, "I do not know this Duggan. He needed ride. I put him in my car to be nice, and he have this cocaine."
Yeah.
Way too humble.
No, Sheik notoriously hated cocaine but loved the smell.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
take deep breaths with it.
so yeah, they
Okay,
but yeah, I mean, dude, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in the '90s, Duggan beat a brain tumor, like a cancerous brain tumor.
Dude,
I
he
remember
also
that.
beat in the 90s. He beat a fucking tumor in his abdomen too. They pulled like a tumor the size of a football out of him.
Yeah. So
The
man,
tumor
he's
was
He
died a
beat
couple
cancer
times,
like 4 or 5 times, I think.
Well, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, also during the Vietnam War, didn't he put down the 2x4 and pick up the fucking M16 and go fight?
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I'm almost positive,
Yeah,
almost positive that he literally joined the military as soon as the Vietnam War broke out. Quit
Yeah, I
wrestling.
don't know. I was even I never heard about that.
And then came back to wrestling. That was why he was, had the whole American flag thing in WCW, like, because they basically wanted him to just be a guy with a flag and a stick in WWF with no story.
Yeah, but I don't know if you remember. For a while, he was wrestling in like gym shorts. It was because he didn't have insurance when he was battling cancer, and he lost all of his money, and he had to sell all of his gear and stuff to like make money.
Yeah,
and
to see them
all he
finally
had was
give him
like
a
freaking
Legends
gym
gear
shorts.
after
And,
that.
yeah, he was wrestling in gym shorts.
To see him get his Legends set up after that is solid. It why the hell did it take this long? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who knows? I was never a fan of Hacksaw Duggan as a wrestler, but I mean, you can't deny all this stuff. First of all,
I can remember Ric Flair
probably the second most over baby face.
Smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably the second most over baby face.
Oh, I was
maybe
a kid.
maybe third. Maybe Warrior for that little blip.
You heard,
yeah, behind Hogan. Junkyard Dog.
See somebody get hit with a stick.
But yeah, he was pretty freaking over, man. And
somebody get the stick.
Dude, blue trunks and a 2x4. The dude was over as Rover. Like, how do you get over with that little? You know what I mean? Of a gimmick. And he was
patriotism, man.
Like, if he was in ECW, I don't know that he would have got over for the same reasons. He would have had to become like a barbarian with that 2x4.
Yeah, but no, in the '80s, man, patriotism was still Reagan. You know what I mean? It was it was
tied into wrestling, huge between Hogan and the Iron Sheik, and like the '90s was crazy. It was crazy with the start of the war, in Desert. I forget if it was Storm or Shield, but
the difference between the '90s is that there was a huge segment of America who it was kind of like Vietnam. They vocally did not support it,
right?
But man, Reagan was like, "We are leading this country to prosperity."
Slaughter turned on us.
Yeah, he did,
dude.
Yeah, he did.
Turned on America, dude. Like, oh my god!
And he got his limo flipped upside down because of it.
They even doctored photos of him and Saddam Hussein back in the day when
doctoring
that. Photos was difficult.
Yeah, I remember that.
Holy shit! Like back in those days, dude, the FBI, the CIA, and the WWF. Those were the only people that could doctor photos effectively.
Yep. Ric Flair.
The Ric Flair and Macho Man. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Me too.
Rick and Liz, baby. Rick and Liz.
Oh my god.
Hanging out at the pool.
The towels.
The towels, the R&E, yeah. Yep. All right, anyway.
So we have somebody made a good prediction about Josh Alexander.
Told y'all.
Came to fruition because though the powers that be, obviously the money was a factor, but I would have loved if we actually got all of this Josh Alexander WWE love, but it looks like Josh Alexander is officially signed with AEW and at some point going to make his debut. So he handed off the Northern Armory to Eric Young, a la Edge and Finn Balor, which I thought was strange, and now they have a completely different vibe now, but it makes sense.
They're crazy now.
Yeah. They're crazy now, yeah. Which under Eric Young, I suppose it makes sense.
I mean,
super
everybody
violent
knows
and crazy.
Wrestlers usually go where they go because of the money. So if AEW offered low card more money than the Fed did, then that's where he's going to go.
I mean, especially like I was saying at his age. I think he's 36 or 38. I mean,
37, yeah.
37. There you go, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Pushing 40, man, and he's got a kid. This is definitely his last run, you know.
And he needs to make smart decisions for him and his family.
He's probably done the majority of what he wanted to do creatively, you know. So he's going somewhere that's offering him
the same exact
the
thing,
biggest, you know, offering him the biggest amount of money. Like he had an epic TNA run. He had amazing matches,
Agreed.
you know.
Agreed.
So
his feud
now
with
he
Bully
can.
Ray, I thought, could have gone better at endearing him to the crowd, but I still think it did a phenomenal job of doing just that.
So now he can go to AEW and go to AEW, make some money, and
retire while he's still young.
Right, then retire. Yeah, exactly.
Go,
retire at 40 and kick it with his family and have a nice little nest egg, you know.
Well, I was gonna say retire, you know, in a year or two or whenever his contract is up, if he decides to retire, then literally live off of autograph signings and conventions and that nest egg. You know what I mean? Just do whatever you feel like.
The reality is even a high level independent wrestler, which Josh Alexander was pretty high level, isn't making a lot of money. TNA, they're making more money than us, but they're not making AEW or WWE money.
No.
Right.
So, you know, it was a smart business decision.
And at that, I'm not entirely positive they're making much more money than us.
Yeah, fair.
We'll see how it goes. To be honest, I thought he would have had a better chance of success in WWE as far as in-ring success and being able to actually go over well, because AEW doesn't seem to be able to do it themselves.
I can agree to that. And I think that ties into Keith's point even more, that I don't think he's looking for any more success or storyline or anything that he's already done. I think he's just looking to kind of comfortably ride out the last few years of his career. You know, he probably signed on to be a mid to high level jobber. In all honesty,
he's Kevin Nash, not Booker T.
I mean, the point is, you know, everybody has their own opinion about how people are used in every company, and you know, we've all seen the Fed and AEW book people wrong, and you know, sometimes they get their careers ruined.
Agreed.
But the thing is, this is
stupid booking.
Yeah, this is the end of Josh Alexander's career, and I guess he's cool with it, you know.
Yeah.
Like I said, for those of you who don't get the reference, when WCW went out of business, WWE offered to buy out everyone's contract, but it was at a significantly lower amount of money. Kevin Nash was like, "Look, dude, I'm old. I'm going to sit at home, and you guys are going to pay me these millions of dollars." And Booker T was like, "You know, I'm still young. I can still go. Buy my contract out and put me on TV." So there's, you know, that's the difference, man.
They tried that shit with Buff Bagwell, and I remember his first match, and then he was gone.
And Booker was almost gone because Booker was almost gone from that match too.
You kind of got to blame Buff's mom for him being gone, unfortunately, as much as his piss poor performance that one night. But you got to about his mom.
You're talking about the one on Raw, right?
Like calling JR, like what? How does your mom have JR's number? Stop it.
Yeah.
Whose mom doesn't have JR's number?
I was gonna say, isn't JR kind of into moms?
Oh god. Yeah, and Jerry Lawler is a veterinarian.
Yeah, he is.
He loves puppies.
Loves the puppies, yeah.
Same page, I see.
I'm biting my tongue to not respond about Lawler. I'm behaving.
Good boy.
Good stuff.
Woo, I get a milk bone.
It's so funny because I was just watching the Wolfie D documentary. It's like $3 on Amazon Prime. It came out in 2017, but it's definitely worth $3.
I've never seen it, dude. I mean, I've never seen it offered because I have Prime too, and
Yeah.
I've never
Bucks is
seen it
almost a
offered.
coffee, dude. Are you out of your
But-
mind?
But every time they Lawler would come on screen because he's on there a lot. The only thing I could think about is the scandals.
Dude, yeah.
I can't think
Who
about
was it?
anything else. I'm just like, this dude likes to screw
Yeah,
teenage girls.
dude.
You know, like, it's-
I wish I could remember the wrestler that actually came out like on Lawler's like Memphis wrestling show and flat out accused him on camera, like on live TV.
really?
Oh,
Oh, that's
Really?
amazing.
I want to say my brain is yelling that it was Billy Jack Haynes, but I don't know
Billy
if
Jack
that's
Haynes is a
right. But
lunatic.
he literally,
And the murderer,
whoever
apparently.
it was, literally said, and Jerry Lawler likes to screw little girls. Like, dude,
Wow.
on his
Wow,
own show,
dude,
dude.
that
You
is
have to
nuts.
Google that.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was raw. It was raw.
Billy Jack Haynes killed people for the Clintons, right? Isn't that he was an assassin for the Clintons?
If he was, that's news to me.
Well, yeah. Anyway, let's get some. Hey, we got any more current news going on there, Pablo? Sorry, we're hopping around.
One thing I wanted to mention that there's a WWE Evolve,
Yeah.
which is named after the original Evolve, is going to be coming out Wednesday, March 5th.
On Tubi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on
man.
Tubi. They have to do it Tubi.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Tubi,
there'll
man.
be some WWE ID people and possibly some NXT people. So
Yeah.
it's another. It's
Double A ball.
be a developmental for the developmental.
Double A ball.
I've seen
between LFG and NXT apparently.
yeah, on the
LFG single
previews.
A. LFG single A.
LFG
OVW
single
all
A.
is-
Double A. NXT's Triple A. And then the
Yeah.
main rosters, you know.
No, AAA is AEW.
Damn.
Oh, speaking of Mexican wrestling, did you guys hear that TKO bought the rights to Lucha Underground?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Interesting.
Yeah, too.
Did yeah.
I heard that.
What exactly are they going to do with that? Are they going to bring it back, or are they just going to have their catalog?
Have weird matches
and
or
the music.
I don't know.
don't know.
I heard that there's a possibility they're going to
There's a
bring it back, but
possibility they'll
I
revive
honestly
it.
don't know.
There's always a possibility because fans fans loved Lucha Underground. It was different.
It had
you
a
know what I
cult
mean?
following, yeah.
And
It
me
was
personally, I loved their arena. I loved the temple. I
Oh,
thought that
yeah.
I
love
thought that
it,
whole
too.
setup was
you
freaking-
guys remember the Mexican wrestling that was on MTV for a little while? And Mark Jindrak was the champ, is Mark Corleone.
I do remember. I don't remember the
That
name.
show was good.
I do remember it, but I don't know even what era that was from, other than like
Yeah,
around
that show was really good. It kind of had a Lucha Underground vibe before Lucha Underground was a thing.
like I like the pre-recorded segments on Lucha Underground. I thought it was almost an evolution to where wrestling should be going, and then the fucking pandemic hit, and we all got to see it from all companies. But I thought that was an incredible like way to do a lot of your backstage stuff. Just pre-record it, man. Do it in a studio. Make it fucking awesome. Make it a Hollywood production. And why WWE only drags this idea out once every 5 years or so? They'll have a boneyard match or a cemetery.
I mean, they used to do stuff like that all the time. Like all the backstage stuff used to be pre-recorded in the 80s.
Room matches and Vince's office matches and shower room matches. Like
I remember
bring back
this.
some of the Japanese staples and bring back piranha matches. All right.
I remember this from a long time ago, and I don't know who else would remember this, but Keith, when they shot when they were shooting Shotgun Saturday Night, they used to go down in the subway and shoot like whatever they wanted,
promos and shit.
Promos, whatever. They used to go down in the subway, and they would, people would have
that used to take place in New York. In the beginning, it was at WWE New York, and so they would
I remember
and then WWE New York shut down, so they had to take it on the road.
That's what got the Headbangers' first gimmick canceled. They were the Flying Nuns.
Right, I remember the Flying Nuns.
It was a combination of like church and like parent outrage. So then the next week, they just filmed the Flying Nuns pretending to piss on the side of a building and had the New York cops come and arrest them. That was the end. Dude, their entire career as the Flying Nuns was a promo one week and getting arrested the next week. That's it. And
That's
then the
fantastic.
headbangers appeared. Like
It's crazy.
The person who did that creative decision should be arrested, actually.
I'll be honest with you, man.
Speaking of Lucha Underground,
the headbangers.
Speaking of Lucha Underground, I was so happy that Butch countered that stupid crap that Penta does in the corner.
Yeah.
I was like, can someone please just not sit there and freaking take this every time?
That was like Tajiri's tarantula. I'm like, who is sitting there long enough to get set up in this friggin' move?
Like, let me get my leg up so you can grab it.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love that move, but he used to put it on like fluidly in ECW. He'd put it on like a friggin' like a spider monkey. Then he gets to WWE and he's like, I'll slow it down so everyone can see exactly how
what
it's
I'm
done.
doing. Yeah. What? Tessa Blanchard does something similar to that move, and she does it pretty quick. Like,
yeah, but Tessa Blanchard also is a Nazi fuck, so.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Sorry. That slipped. I'll be good.
Tell us how you really feel, Kanye.
Sorry, it slipped. Hey.
That was very good.
I have a question. I have a question real quick. Who watched TNA this past week?
Well, I think we all did, dude. We've been talking about it this whole time.
But I'll be honest, I fell asleep. I didn't see anything.
I was told, like I said, I don't get to watch TNA, but I was told that when Tessa came out, the entire crowd was chanting, "Tessa is a racist."
She's a racist again. I heard they were chanting the same thing as when she won.
They did 3 different chants at her. The only one that I could make out was "Please don't wrestle."
Yeah.
But yeah, they did 3 different ones, and one of them very well could have been "She's a racist." But yeah, they chanted "Please don't wrestle." That's the only one that I really caught.
He's got like borderline. Like, I don't think I've ever seen heat like this before. Like,
dude,
she's got
this is not good.
She's got unalive yourself heat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's rough.
Yeah,
and, not that it's not deserved, but why do they keep putting her out there to experience it? Like,
why you think she's gonna have it? You think she has a heat like Hogan?
I think it's worse, dude.
I think it's worse because honestly,
because the thing about Hogan is Hogan built such a huge following over decades and decades of wrestling. There's always gonna be people who are gonna be like, but it's Hulk Hogan. Just like Chris Benoit killed his whole freaking family. And people are still like, oh, Chris Benoit's such a great wrestler. And you know what I mean? There's always going to be a segment of people who are going to support Hulk Hogan. Tessa Blanchard never did that. She never had the opportunity. She never had the opportunity to become bigger than all of this.
She didn't build a 40-year career and then get caught slipping with the N-word. She
built a 5-year happened in the middle, right? This happened
right. The N-word cannon whenever she wanted.
Also, Hulk Hogan is an old white man, and Tessa is a young Nepo baby. There's a difference.
And so Hogan gets a pass a little bit because they're like, oh, fucking old people.
You just assume that
assume they're racist. Yeah, I'm jumping in on the F-bombs. My bad, guys.
Listen to me, dude. You're fine. I apologize to Tyler because he always has to work around me, but
I'm trying not to swear.
Yeah.
All right, I have another question about racism, and I know this is.
Let's do it. Another question.
I know this is kind of a touchy subject, and people have different
What's up,
opinions.
brother? Is it about Ching Chong China?
No.
Okay.
It's about Booker T calling Hogan the N-word on Nitro.
Oh, that was a million years ago, dude. But it happened.
That was a slip up, and that was also phenomenal.
Yeah, it was hilarious, dude. There's a song.
Dude,
they were chanting it at Booker T when he came out.
Yes.
But I just found the song on Spotify a couple weeks ago. I was like, this can't be a real song. There's a song called Hogan, We're Coming for You, N-word. Look it up on Spotify. It's hilarious.
Wait, what's the name of the song?
It's Hogan, We're Coming for You, N-word.
Hogan, we're coming for you.
That's funny.
It's fantastic. I was like, this is amazing.
Well, whether that was a slip or not, some people would consider that reverse racism. So why don't people get on
and I'll tell you
why. Dude, it's black guy saying to a white dude.
Hold up. Reverse racism isn't a thing. Period. It's not. It's you're being racist towards a white person, or you're being racist towards a black person, or you're being racist towards a fucking Latino or whatever. Reverse racism isn't a thing. That's something white people made up in my youth, and it's a silly statement. You know what I mean?
The thing about that phrase itself,
white dude who got called a honky got upset about and was like, "Boy, that's reverse racism. You can't do that. I'm in power."
I mean, let me make this clear. That's not how I think. I'm
no,
just
no, no,
saying.
no. I got it. I got it. I'm answering.
Dude, here's the thing.
I'm answering you from the heart. You know what I mean?
As a white dude,
but
as a white dude, whenever a black person has called me the N-word, I did not feel like they were insulting me.
No, I felt like they were like making me part of the family.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like it's a compliment when a black person calls you that.
It's the same thing with me.
I've never had a black dude call me that in fighting terms, and I'm sure it's gonna happen someday, and I'm gonna just be confused and not know how to
people
respond.
say that to me,
but that's literally when I see it happen, I go, how do you even respond to that? Like,
I mean,
sounding like a total douchebag. Like, so it's one of those. It's I don't see it as racism when a black dude who's been using it amongst his friends as a sign of endearment uses it, and that's what it was with Booker T's slip up. He wasn't thinking of Hogan as an enemy. He wasn't thinking of Hogan as a wrestling opponent or a promo. He was thinking of Hogan as one of his boys when he said that. And I honestly don't think there was anything intentionally hateful in.
No, I agree with you.
Tyler, if you can find that song and play it in the background,
I don't consider it racism in that instance.
Now, as Keith said, as he said, as a white man, I'm going to say as an Oreo, because that's what I am.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as an Oreo?
No,
dude, I eat Oreos all the time. Yes, there is.
Let me tell you something, Chad.
What?
People think they diss my person by stating I'm darkly packed. I know this, so I point at Q-Tip, and he states black is black. There you go.
There you go.
There's no spectrum.
You confounded my white ass, but I'm with you.
It's from Me, Myself, and I by De La Soul.
I know.
It's what I always think of when people are like, well, he's not black enough or whatever, dude. Black people are black people. White people are white people. Honestly, we're all a human race.
Exactly.
I'm Irish. Now, we were oppressed for just as long. We just weren't kept in chains for some fucking reason.
I'm gonna tell you like this. The other day I was on a live.
So weird. I
was on an Instagram live with MC Search.
Yeah.
And he said,
did he give you the gas face?
No, he didn't give me the gas face. He said he said no gas face for KMD.
Right, huh?
I'm saying he was like, he was like, let's just think of us as not black, not white, but all one race.
Yeah.
The human race.
Yeah. MC Search and Pete Nice were the baddest, and bad meaning good, baddest Jewish rappers of all time.
Out of everybody I've made bleed, it's always been the same.
And third base is coming back too.
Word? Nice. Good for them, man.
I don't bleed because bleeding is showing weakness. And I'd have to be weak to do that.
Is that a scar on your eyebrow, Pablo?
Yes, it is.
So you bled?
No, it was just weakness leaving the body.
It just opened up.
Just weakness leaving the body. Letting a little weakness out.
Yeah.
That was all I had to give.
All right.
They did announce, though, that they have an Evolve Championship and that they're going to unveil it at some point. They've been, for the WWE Evolve, they've been recording since, or doing their shows since February 8th and 9th. So pretty much they're going to be, they're going to have a month's worth before it actually shows up on Wednesday.
Cool. I was going to say Brindley Reese. I saw Brindley Reese in the...
I imagine they'd bring somebody down to be the first champion.
Right. And there's also going to be WWID champions, right? And they're going to take the belts to different indie companies and defend them. And
which is weird because the Monster Factory just unveiled their Portal Championship a couple months ago with the same exact premise.
Interesting. Well, AIWF, man, they've been doing it for a long time.
No, I'm just WWE loves to rip off smarter companies than them.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of been in their wheelhouse their entire existence.
Not just smarter companies, but wrestlers in general. I mean,
wrestlers, territories, companies, you name it. Like
they didn't vote. They didn't. Cyber Monday wasn't their thing.
What? Of course it was. Of course it was.
Are we saying it's a good thing that they did?
They invented Taboo Tuesday, sir.
They invented Taboo Tuesday.
They invented
Tuesday
the phrase
was wild,
in
dude.
your house. I mean, before that, you used to just walk.
Oh, that Taboo
home,
Tuesday.
Okay, you couldn't just go in your house until they invented that phrase. Like,
Taboo Tuesday totally sounds like a special that they would be running on Brazzers.
Yeah, that sounds like a strip club. Like, buy one dance, get a free meal. Like,
I've never heard of that. How do you spell that?
Brazzers.
How do you spell
BRAZZERS.
Oh no. Okay. Never mind.
Today's episode of Roundtable Wrestling sponsored by Pornhub.
Sponsored by Taboo Tuesday.
No, it is not. I think I have to say legally that we are not sponsored by either.
Indeed.
Yet
we are sponsored by all the wrestling fans.
We're not sponsored by them yet. Pornhub.
Well, that's an interesting. That'd be an interesting way to go. We're also not sponsored by Fruit Loops.
Interesting way to go. We're not dying.
I mean, a root take, not
physically dying. You're talking about a way to go.
Good Lord.
Speaking of way to go, Frank Mir should stop boxing.
Frank Mir is boxing?
Oh yeah, he had been boxing for a while. It was like the last few years that he's gotten into the ring and boxed, but this last fight,
he like 60?
Dead on his feet.
Oh,
yeah, he's got other dates coming up too. But
that's wild.
I liked me some Frank Mir. Him cracking.
His promos were fire.
Him cracking Tim Sylvia's arm and tapping out Brock Lesnar. So he's technically a WWE legend. Him and Cain Velasquez.
Who was it? He was fighting somebody, and he was like, he says he doesn't remember when he got his black belt in jiu-jitsu. I remember when I got my black belt in jiu-jitsu because it was when I broke Tim Sylvia's freaking arm.
That was the realest moment in TV, just watching it. Snap. Oh, no.
I'll be honest with you.
Rough,
I wish Boss Rutan still fought.
Boss Rutan never fought.
I enjoyed watching Boss Rutan compete, fight, whatever you want to call it, play.
I'm just saying, dude, I don't believe Boss Rutan was a fake fighter.
Wait, what? Say again?
Boss Rutan was a fake fighter, dude. Pancrase was not real, dude. Pancrase was pro wrestling.
No.
Dude, Pancrase was not real.
Dude,
it was pro wrestling with harder strikes, dude, for sure.
Seen that dude hit like a heavy bag?
I'm not saying he didn't know how to fight. I'm saying Pancrase was BS. Okay, Johnny, let me ask you this question. Have you been in some fights before in your life?
Just a handful, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so have you ever in your life gotten on your knees in front of another man and punched him back and forth while the two of you were on your knees in a fight?
No, granted.
Because that happened in a Pancrase fight that I was watching.
But I mean, have you ever seen Don Fry fight? It's literally two dudes punching each other in the face until one of them almost dies.
Which is also why I think that Pride had some, maybe not all. I think that there was some cooperation going on in Pride too. If you look at how easy people passed guard,
UFC, but I agree.
If you look at how easy people passed guard and the transitions and the switching in Pride, a lot of times there was no struggle.
Well, Pride had a lot of lighter, it seemed like all of their weight divisions were lighter too than the UFC. They didn't seem to have.
And they had the super heavyweights, which they had the really big guys too.
That's what I mean. They seemed to go further in both directions. It's like they didn't have a lot of any like high or higher weight classes except the top like 4 or 5 guys. But all those little teeny tiny dudes, man, they move.
Fair, yeah. But anybody who's ever been in a real fight,
no, yeah, you don't
watch Pancrase. Pancrase is not. It's not real fighting, dude.
I've never sat in a chair across from somebody and slapped,
Yeah,
back and forth
Pancrase is not real fighting, man.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. You might be right.
I've watched
a lot of
and still give anything to see Boss Rutan in UFC today.
I feel you, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Fair enough. I didn't
mean to crap on Boss Rutan.
I like the dude because I watch his stuff that he records in the gym. I don't really watch, any of his old stuff except obviously clips he puts up. So you got
there was a best of Boss Rutan and Pancrase, and I actually watched it, and I was just like, oh, Boss Rutan. Boss Rutan isn't even a fighter. I was like, this is bull.
It's the way he carries himself, and it's the knowledge that he has.
He definitely comes off as a badass, dude. And that liver kick, liver kick.
Oh, dude, don't even start with that.
Liver kick.
The question mark kick is another one, dude. Like, I don't ever want to.
So funny. Like, we are doing tangents this week on Roundtable Wrestling.
Sorry.
One thing I will do is I want to ask D'Lo about his picture, because that's going to be our segue into the what the heck did Dwayne Johnson do? This new segment of just being absolutely confused as to what we were getting. We were getting a babyface / heel promo that became a heel promo, and then you kind of lost the plot.
He went on a ramble for sure. Speaking of,
so much so they had to cancel. They had to cancel Naomi and Liv Morgan.
Really? I also
ended up having they scrapped it because they ended up fighting, but also because The Rock needed 30 minutes.
Wow. I also read. I didn't see it, but I also read that one, he got cut off, and number two, they censored him.
Oh yeah, they had to, because he was I don't know if they
dropping F-bombs?
He was dropping F-bombs for sure, but he also dropped that syphilis line.
Hey, on that first night on Netflix, he was dropping F-bombs like crazy, but a lot of it was after it went on the air.
Dude, I do want to, as a first-hand witness to it, I want to know what D'Lo thought, though.
Yeah, I'm interested. But yeah, I'll
is D'Lo even here?
Exactly why I want to hear what he thought.
Cody's looking at him do something, and he's being very judgmental. Cody's like,
D'Lo, are you back? Because I feel like Cody's judging all of us.
Cody's looking, and he's like, "There's no Fronto in there."
Yeah.
What is that? A backwoods? Well, I'm gonna preface it, and then when D'Lo gets back, we'll hit him up about it. But The Rock came out and did his thing where he'll introduce himself and talk about his goosebumps and touch his forearm.
What city he's finally back in.
Yeah. And then he'll sing a song and then berate the audience. And obviously, what happened is that Cody came to the building and Nick Aldis was like, yeah, you're not in the 6-man tag anymore. And he's like, what? I want to be in there with 5 men. Yeah. And he's like, nope, you can't do that because you're doing that in Elimination Chamber.
Hey,
no. We're doing 6-man Elimination Chamber. We can't, blow that out of proportion. But The Rock wants to talk to you, which is pretty much showing that The Rock is a dictator.
Yeah.
So The Rock comes out and he talks about his status in the WWE and how he's the man. He was talking to Ari and he was like, actually TKO owns us. So that actually means that you're the boss, not me. And The Rock was like, you know what? I am, aren't I? I pretty much am the boss.
Pretty much.
And then he went on a rant about Cody wanting Cody to be his champion, which is very much a reference, I imagine, to like corporate Triple H.
Right, because that used to be a thing.
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
Right. D'Lo, you hear us, D'Lo?
I don't know what happened to D'Lo, man.
I see him I saw him in the picture. He flickered in and out, but I can't
He
hear
can't.
you.
I saw him in the picture too.
Well, I'm gonna go Keith
brother.
first. I want to go
Yeah.
to you. How do you feel? Like, what do you think happened? What did the Rock
Okay,
do?
so I'm only getting this from like what you guys have said, but
Mhm.
and what I read on the internet.
I imagine everybody's seen or heard of it, or at least.
Yeah. So I think that people were pretty dissatisfied that The Rock wasn't going to be a heel for whatever reason. Like he's pretty much baby facing it up in NXT, even though
Yeah.
he does have a new best friend who is a heel. That's in NXT. So I think that they kind of had to they switched it up just because of the reaction, and so he wanted to go back to being a heel, but at the same time he's The Rock and people are gonna cheer him regardless until he does something super dastardly. So I don't know, man. It's a confusing situation for me. It's just as confusing without being able to watch SmackDown, which I won't be able to do till it comes on Netflix. But yeah. I mean, honestly, dude, this might be super unpopular, but I really wish The Rock would just sit down and shut up. Like, I don't have any use for The Rock anymore.
Yeah, I'm not impressed
a reasonable
after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I just don't like there's so much going on, especially on SmackDown with the Bloodline and freaking Jade Cargill and Pretty Deadly and DIY and the Street Profits. I mean, there's so much going on. Do we need The Rock to just come out and say, you still got Kevin Owens and Cody, and it's just
There's a
The Rock
lot.
doesn't even need to be there. There's no reason.
It seems like The Rock is getting in. The Rock is getting in between the Cody and the Kevin feud, and like and all the stuff that they should be doing.
And Sammy's involved in that too. Do you need The Rock?
No.
Well, it seems like The Rock is monkey wrenching himself into this before he does this Martin Scorsese movie.
See, it's weird, dude, because to me it feels like even though the promo is definitely meandering in between heel and babyface, and at the end of the day, I still didn't know what side of the force The Rock was on, but it did, at least looking back, it feels like they're trying to set up The Rock and Cody to be the baby faces going into whatever the hell is next to me. It doesn't seem like they're setting them up for a heel run. It seems like they're kind of pulling back from The Rock being a heel. And I feel like that was part of what the damage control should have been. And it just lost focus. And that's the best reason I can think of that it went so long is that The Rock completely lost focus.
Yeah, he was trying to do the damage control for January 6th, drinking that tequila shot with Cody Rhodes and seeming like they're buddy after he tried to end his career last WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it was interesting because the verbiage he used, wanting saying that he could make Cody's dreams come true. You're already at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, what dreams could there be?
True, yeah, that Cody can't get already.
Yeah, I didn't recall Cody having dreams of Hollywood.
He's an American nightmare. He doesn't have dreams.
Yeah, he just has nightmares.
He just has nightmares.
So it was interesting, Rock saying he wanted Cody to be his champion, but then Cody saying he's the people's champion.
Hey now.
That was interesting, though.
Hey now.
He mentioned that. It was kind of an ode to how The Rock is literally becoming
turning on the people, so to speak.
To fight against, like he was always fighting against corporate, or he was corporate,
well,
he was trashing people's limos and like being an absolute menace to society. And
I think that a lot of people have forgotten that the People's Champion was originally sarcastic. It was meant to mock the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he was in the Nation then.
Yeah, because they would boo him, and he would be like, "I'm the People's Champion," and yeah.
If it comes full circle and they mention in a promo, it's like, hey, like what happened to The Rock that was for the people? Like what happened?
Right.
Like
I
The
remember
Rock
briefly when DDP tried to be the people's champion in WCW, and that.
Yeah, people were like, he's stealing it from The Rock. Yeah, it was totally shut down.
Dude,
Yeah.
that went over like a fart in church. Like, that just not. The crowd was like, nope, we already got one of those.
Yep, we're not having that.
But then I think the most important part of that whole thing is, I don't know if The Rock, he has his own writers, right? Like he's a movie star.
Does he even have writers at this point? Does he need a writer?
Well, it looks like
he's always had writers, right? I don't think The Rock's really,
The Rock
definitely
should
had
be given a rough idea of what he's saying and be told to get the hell out there. Like he probably. I mean, I can't imagine he's had writers in WWE his whole career. I mean, it goes back quite a ways. So
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like that was the era.
Dude,
like
it goes right through. It goes right through the Attitude Era. He's definitely.
I think the Attitude Era was the era where they started, scripting everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking the opposite. I was thinking the Attitude Era was when they started letting wrestlers just pipe bomb every other promo.
Certain wrestlers.
Certain wrestlers, absolutely.
The Rock was not coming up with those songs on the fly.
No.
Yeah.
He has a literal rubric of how he does his promos all the time.
Right.
But the interesting thing is though, like, why would you say, "I want your soul"?
Pause.
Because that's what happened, right? He said,
"Pause."
Cody, I don't want to take the championship. He doesn't even want the championship. He said he wants his soul.
Dude, maybe he's trying to get him some brandy.
He did mention some brandy, though. He did
mention it.
You mean souls and spirits are brandy?
No, I mean Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah.
As in,
Cody's
his
wife.
heart and soul. Like his,
Well, he mentioned this is the thing. He mentioned his entire family. He showed that The Rock's mom and Cody's mom hung out during WrestleMania. And they're both like second generation superstars. And like he mentioned Liberty by name. He mentioned Brandy by name. And like it just shows it's that seedy power dynamic where, I think The Rock fancies himself a Vince McMahon.
For sure.
Without the he wants to be that Vince McMahon. He looks more without the actual real life horrible things.
He looks more like a Miami Vice McMahon, but I'm with you. You're not wrong.
Vice McMahon.
The Tony Versetti.
I can feel it.
I like it. By the way, D-Lo, we were trying to get to the only person that sings Phil Collins on this stream.
Nah.
You keep that away.
Hey, no.
D-Lo, we wanted to ask, how do you feel about that segment that made Cody make that face?
I had the same face that he had. I'm like, what is he talking about? Because he just kept rambling, and then he told someone I'll slap the syphilis out of you. I'm like, wait, what? And he's just all over the place. He's in a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Just like Jericho and a few others too.
Jericho.
He just wants to have his one last hurrah. And he wants to have Cody's soul to have that hurrah.
Jericho's been having his last run for like 10 years though. Like The Rock hasn't. He's been in Hollywood.
But he has an itch. But he feels like he had to do something else in Hollywood. That's why he keeps coming back. Like, I want to be here, but I want to do Hollywood too. I want to do both. But it's like,
the weird dance that he's doing, because I don't believe he'll be around enough to actually be in anything substantial, considering that he's doing the Scorsese film and then apparently he's slated to be Apocalypse.
Wow.
I've seen that too. Yeah, I did see that yesterday.
Or
wow.
Which is cool because he's a bit more physically
imposing,
domineering than Oscar Isaacs, and Oscar Isaacs is also playing another character as well. So
isn't Oscar Isaac Moon Knight? Why would he?
Well, this is the thing about the MCU, right? You're naturally going to play two. Like Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Doom and Iron Man. Chris Evans was Johnny Storm and Captain America, Oscar Isaac, Moon Knight, and like literally I think it's a gimmick that they continue, or they want to continue doing.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely.
Okay.
It's actually something that they're trying to push, and because that pop when you found out, spoiler alert to a movie that came out a while ago, spoiler alert, when you thought that Captain America was Captain America, but he really wasn't.
Yeah.
Probably one of the greatest moments in movie history in my eyes.
Well, before you
couldn't tell me that you
Cody
went from
comes
being
to
Captain
Bubba.
America to a worse pyro.
We can go pyro for pyro.
Cody
and Rocket.
Literally just ruined him right there, and it was like, oh yeah, one person's closer to a mega mutant than the other. But I do like. I'm hoping that this new Fantastic Four can be good because it takes.
Hopefully,
it takes more to the actual comic / like old show that my father used to watch.
Man, I've been waiting my whole life for them to get Venom right, and I am still waiting.
I'm waiting for
them to get Venom right because the reality is, if you were going to do Venom right, you would have to do Secret Wars.
Right.
And in order to do Secret Wars right, you would need 30 freaking characters, literally.
Cool.
You know, I mean, so
do it.
But now in the multiverse, they can show, Peter Quill and like his versions, and then like the Thor police, like all that stuff that they did in the Secret Wars, Doctor Strange being the herald of Doctor Doom and all of that.
Well, I'm talking about the 80s Secret Wars.
Oh, okay. No, because I know that they're not doing the 80s Secret Wars.
Talking about Spider-Man getting his suit torn to shreds.
They're doing the newer Secret Wars for this movie, but I remember the old Secret Wars, and I liked that one. I was kind of wishing that they didn't reboot it.
Well, like in the even in the
Battle World,
exactly. Battle World was what I thought Deadpool Wolverine was, though.
In the newer Venom movie, they had like all of the symbiotes that Venom becomes over time, or that are related to him, that show up. All and of them apparently already existed, and only made the briefest of cameos before they all got eaten. Like it was the dumbest. It was the dumbest thing, and I'm not even joking. Like some of the most powerful symbiotes ever known to man, and just hey, we're here to help. Gone.
Well, the fact that in that Thor movie they showed Null just with the sword right next to the Golden God, and then made it like only people that actually knew the story were like, "Oh snap, that's literally symbiote on the floor."
I used to get so upset. This is so weird that we're on Marvel Comics, but I used to get so upset about the movies not being the same as the comics and the TV shows not being the same as the comics. The Hulk show actually used to, when I was a kid, the Hulk show used to piss me off because, that's not how the Hulk became the Hulk. But now that I'm older, a friend of mine was like, look, man, you got to look at it as a what if. It's an alternate universe.
Oh, yeah. Everything's bizarre.
He's like, or you're going to drive yourself crazy. He's like, it's not the same stories. It's not the same origin because it's not the same people. And I was like,
honestly, that's how I got through the first Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix or however you pronounce his name. That's how I got through that first one. I had to literally like slap myself into the idea that this is a different telling of the story. It's not the same character.
But remember, every one of these has a multiverse, so there are different types of Joker.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's different types of, and that's the reason why you're able to do that.
I still like the Marvel friggin' DC crossover they did, where like Batman and Wolverine were the same character, and their nemesis.
Oh yeah, the amalgam
was their nemesis was the Jackal. It was like Joker mixed with somebody else.
Darkclaw. Yeah, the amalgam. The amalgam.
Joker and Sabretooth.
Yeah,
right.
It's both of their main villains. So
I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was actually a really well done.
Those are some pretty good comics. The Captain America Superman one was good too.
So phenomenal. So phenomenal.
I was going to say, speaking of being in your villain arc, we have possibly 2 new tag teams.
Okay.
One specific new tag team that I'm not going to lie, they had one of the botchiest matches I've seen in the last few years. And I mentioned it when I was on the treadmill watching, but Mellow don't miss.
Mellow don't miss.
No, not Mellow.
Oh, Mellow don't miss.
Miz.
Yeah.
So apparently,
I ain't too keen on it.
yeah, because I was watching this segment, right? And R-Truth obviously being his R-Truth self, which I'm kind
National
of tired
treasure.
of. You know, I don't really like the depiction of R-Truth being a stupid older man. Like, I don't think we have to play the coonery anymore. Vince McMahon's not here anymore. We
I
don't
just
have
think
to
he's
play
funny.
the
I don't think he's
He's
stupid. I just think he's
naturally-
hilarious.
He's got natural comedic talent for
Oh no,
damn
he's
sure,
a great comedian. Yeah,
him
but
being a self-deprecating comedian.
I mean, if you think
does
about
kinda
this,
harken back to an older day when that was normal. So I
do you
I
guys
totally get what
remember?
you're saying.
Do you guys remember R-Truth's gimmick in TNA?
yeah, Run the Truth
yeah.
Killing.
Right, but do you remember the suntan Superman?
Oh, yeah.
R-Truth has been funny for a long time.
Oh, he has, yeah.
You know, he just used to be more subtle about it. But the fact that he used to call himself the suntan Superman when he is like the blackest dude.
Here's
You
one
know
that'll
what I
blow your
mean? Like
mind.
that is not a suntan, my friend.
Have you guys ever seen the
You know?
pictures of R-Truth standing with Tupac?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
R-Truth hasn't aged a damn day
No, he hasn't.
since that picture.
Because he's Superman, dude.
And I just want to know how.
And he's suntan.
Yeah, he's suntan Superman.
I just want to know how. That's all.
So to get back to this, right?
Yeah, the tag team.
It's another trope of the hesitant tag team, like the put together tag team where one person doesn't really want to be with the other. And I kind of like, you know, I want to ask everybody's hot takes. That's how I want to kind of end this, because I have a hot take that I want to take, is that I've never liked Miz, and I think this is the best Miz I've seen in a while. This iteration of the Miz being that he's like an outcast, kind of like where he's trying to cozy up to people, and they're like, oh, forget you, you're the Miz.
I think we're gonna see more of that from the Miz, and I think we're gonna see a very twisted Sami Zayn when he comes back, and it all ties into the same thing. They interacted with Killer Cross, and now they're broken.
Yeah, exactly. And then Miz is trying to pick up his life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Carmelo Hayes is obviously having his problem. So interesting thing is that R-Truth coming out and saying he had a Louisiana legend coming to help him out, and introducing Louisiana Knight because he thinks the LA Knight stands for Louisiana when it really stands for Los Angeles.
Come on, dude, that's too funny.
And then he hands him a beignet, and then they just walk down, and like he just eats the beignet and throws it to a lucky fan.
Oh, I love it.
They did a good job, but I will say that the match was botchier than botchy. It was like watching 2 rounds of bocce ball.
Oh no!
So my hot take is this better end with Carmelo Hayes. Sorry,
Carmelo Anthony does. He was 34%.
Lights. Yeah. With Carmelo Anthony coming down. No, I'm just kidding. Carmelo Hayes beating the Miz up. And so he gets to beat a former Grand Slam champion, because Carmelo Hayes needs to be making his way towards the world title.
Okay.
The thing is, though, does he?
Like that.
I think he does.
But that's the thing. Maybe this is shown because he's cutting his teeth, right? He's getting the hazing out, and thing is, though, does he not just get jumped over by Jacob, jumped over by Trick, even when he comes up, jumped over by Oba when he comes up?
Well, what if he just straight up comes out to go after Miz and gets jumped by whoever Miz is cuddled up with this time?
I feel like Carmelo is so athletic, and he has like natural charisma.
The athleticism,
natural
so
heat too, natural heel heat.
Yeah, I feel like if they don't move him into title contention, that is such a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not saying he has to win the belt, but I think that if you're putting him in there with top guys, he's going to show.
He's going to shine, absolutely.
Well, that's what they've been doing this whole time. You know, they've been showing, okay, like he can have a good match with anybody. He's out there with Shinsuke, out there with LA, out there with Andrade, and those guys aren't shabby either. But the fact,
let's be real, Louisiana Knight is a hometown hero.
He had that horrible match with Cody.
For way for saying you can marry
cutters in unison.
Yeah.
It's weird.
like,
a lot
he
of
can
people
go,
have
but-
been slipping in WWE as far as match quality goes since Vince isn't there, putting crazy pressure on everybody. And I wonder if that's also why it feels like there's been less injuries since Vince left. It
Except
seems
for
like
Dakota
guys
Kai.
aren't trying to kill themselves nightly to impress one guy.
Except for Dakota Kai. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying they've been injury free. I'm not stupid. You know, I mean, I'm not. It's pro wrestling. There's no such thing as injury free pro wrestling. That's like
No, but what I'm saying is Dakota Kai will walk out the door and break her ankle.
oh
So some people
The
that's just
sun's too bright. I have a concussion.
So also I would like to ask, because of what happened on SmackDown, is fresh in my mind, right?
Yeah.
Is Jacob Solo going to happen at Elimination Chamber, or is it going to happen at WrestleMania?
WrestleMania. I
WrestleMania.
The WrestleFest.
WrestleFest, baby.
That's why.
Then who does
Return of the
Roman pick?
WrestleFest.
That's the thing about it, right? The weird thing about this whole bloodline is that it has to culminate into something good in WrestleMania, and then it's just been a waste because Cody's not even going to fight anybody from the bloodline.
Yeah, it's been
in
years long now, and this last year has just been a deviation because
I
Roman's
think
not
Tonga
around.
get hurt, messed their plans up. That's why.
I still feel like Heyman's gonna turn on Roman.
Is no one from the bloodline in the chamber?
Apparently
don't
not,
think so.
because Jacob lost his, and yeah, it's CM Punk, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre,
and Juan Cena, and that's it.
And Logan Paul.
And,
Logan
Do the chamber.
The winner.
I was trying to ignore
the
that.
elimination
I was
chamber.
trying to ignore that.
I hope they fill
do
his
the pod thing.
with
That's
water
what he is.
before he
He's a
gets out.
podcaster. He's going to do the pod thing. But I do like the fact that, Solo's the reason why they keep losing, and the fact that Jacob looks, he made a New Orleans reference with the Yada Amin and all of that. So I'm thinking that Jacob is he's pretty much there. I'd like him to fight The Rock in WrestleMania. I'd want him to get that Solo stuff out of the way, because Solo is small fries. He's small potato.
Rock, yeah.
Jacob needs to fight Roman or The Rock, because they need to legitimize him now and put the cart behind the strongest horse.
Seriously, they need to strap a
Not
rocket to that
dragging
young
on
man's back.
too long. They don't need the dragging on too long. When you have the guy, don't let him waste time and then get injured, and then you miss out on it
or
completely.
burnt out anything. Don't let anything protect that man's career, for God's sake.
He has been very protected, considering.
No, but he
hasn't
came
taken
in.
it.
He came in as an absolute no one from absolute nothing, and has been one of the most impressive wrestlers they've had in decades.
He's a no name as far as people that are associated with WWE.
I knew
right?
the Samoan Werewolf before he was there, but
exactly,
it was still a peripheral knowledge as opposed to seeing him perform weekly knowledge.
People that knew Samoan Werewolf, they were like, okay, we know what you're talking about. Like those actual like hardcore guys know, but like the regular fan,
Well,
the regular
most
fan
people
sees him and knows that he is the guy.
Most people didn't follow, and still don't follow MLW
or HOG or PWG, like all of these.
Yeah,
other ones, Defy, like he was everywhere.
ECW. Sorry to interrupt, but I gotta flex for a little bit. If you guys are still on in like 20 minutes, I'll be back.
Right on, brother.
Right on.
Flex heard. Flex command.
Flex command.
I was saying that too. That's cool. Flex Anderson.
Mm-hmm. But what I was hoping for is that after that match, that tag match between Priest, Strowman, and the two, Fatu and Sikoa, I was hoping that The Rock would come out again. Finally, because I've been waiting for the coronation of Jacob as the next guy. And I was hoping that The Rock being there would kind of do more than just
like facilitate it.
Look at The Rock. Yeah, like The Rock isn't getting anybody over. He's just getting himself over.
Right.
Or like trying to make it seem like Cody needs to get over when
he's the opposite of John Cena
in professional wrestling. Like him and Hendry are like on the sun and everybody else is on Mercury.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you call out the Raw.
Yeah.
All this BS.
Otherwise, we still got a week and a half before Elimination Chamber. We'll probably speak on the things that we like to, do our fantasy booking and all of that, but
For sure.
I'm not entirely sure. I know what's going to be happening.
Elimination Chamber, I believe, is next Saturday.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna get a tag team match for this? Because I'm not liking the way the tag team division is going in WWE right now.
No, it's been dry the last couple of years. That's his
For real,
Usos,
right?
bro.
No, specifically,
That's his
like
Usos, bro.
DIY has cooled down significantly. I don't even remember that
Right.
the War Raiders are the champions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did change. That's it. Yeah.
Looks like it's gonna be a fatal 4-way dance tag match.
What
They
the
might
heck?
even do in a chamber. What if we see a tag match? What like a tag team gauntlet in the chamber? I think would be really cool.
That would be interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, but right
They've
now
already
it's
got the
just,
thing set up.
4 matches are just announced for Elimination Chamber. So I imagine that we're going to get one of the tag team matches.
Yeah, only 4. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't get the women's one because Bianca and Naomi are part of the Elimination Chamber.
Oh.
So I'd love to see how that works because Bianca heel turn.
Hey, now.
I think it
That's
happens.
what I've been calling for a while.
Hey,
I think it happens
question.
Elimination Chamber, and then she kicks out Naomi for Jade, and then Jade goes with Jordan Grace and wins the tag titles from them.
I have a question. I haven't
Oh my God,
watched
that's a
SmackDown
explosion
since,
right there. Jesus.
I haven't watched SmackDown since the one before Saturday night's main event, which I have on right now. Did they ever figure out what happened to Jade?
Nope.
Yeah, they did. Well, they're
Wait, they did?
alluding to it. They're
A
alluding
piece.
to that it was Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez that were behind it because they used to be tag team champions, which kind of it seems kind of dumb in my eyes.
I don't think that's going to end up being true, though.
I think it
honestly.
was
Nah.
Naomi.
See, the situation I was told that may happen is they were either gonna blame Bianca or they were gonna blame Naomi because Naomi wanted to be tag champ or something.
Right, and that's the obvious one that would make the most sense. But what they're looking at right now is that
I'm trying to get caught up. I'm
it's
trying to get
Liv
caught up with wrestling before
Raquel.
the Elimination Chamber.
But I would like to say though is that does anybody remember that we have women's secondary championships?
No.
Yeah, well, I say we need some at least.
They lost
just made it, right?
in elimination contender matches, and it's like, oh, why make champions?
Yeah.
You're just going to deaden like the you're not even going to what?
Okay.
Like,
Right.
you're not going to defend these championships. You're just going to take.
Well,
L's.
Lyra's wrestling Dakota in a rematch.
I've seen that they look like they're going somewhere with
Yeah.
that at least, and
Yeah.
I don't really want to see Dakota.
Chelsea
Kai
got a
lose that.
surprise next Friday. So I know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dakota's going to win. I mean, that would seem kind of silly, you know.
Would it be too early for?
Yeah, because Lyra just won the belt.
It's too soon for.
But you could
title
say the
change.
same thing about Braun Breaker when he lost it.
Right. True.
But nothing really was going to stop his push because he's just a monster, like.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking that they gotta make it more interesting because right now they're putting people that you don't even want to see. Like it looks like Zelina Vega is going to be fighting Chelsea Green because of that promo that she had last night.
Okay.
Which was actually pretty good promo, talking about her being former queen of the ring and like always having people look at
Being
her
small and all that short stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The only person bigger than me, or the only person that I'm bigger than in the whole WWE is Roxanne Perez.
Is she actually?
That probably is true.
Yeah.
I like that, but I would
And
definitely
Ivy,
say
too.
that NXT is knocking it out the park the last few weeks. And this week coming up, do you guys know the card that's going to be on for this next NXT?
The Hardys are coming.
Yeah, the Hardys
are coming.
and
The Hardys are coming.
The Hardys and the No Quarter Catch Crew.
Mhm.
Lexus King and Moose.
Random as fuck.
Is it true that I haven't seen NXT either, but who are the Hardys facing on NXT?
No Quarter Catch Crew. No Quarter Catch Crew.
Tavion and Miles, I believe.
Yeah.
Are they
Tavion.
Are they
Yeah.
tag champs?
They're
Nah.
the TNA champs.
Huh?
All right.
They're the
Matt Hardy
NXT
and Jeff
tag team
Hardy
champions are
the tag
Fraxium.
team. Yeah. Fraxium is facing are they facing somebody? I was trying to see.
I don't know.
think so.
I know the No Quarter Catch Crew came out and said they wanted to wrestle the best tag team in the world, and Fraxium was like, "Yeah, you do."
And
they were like,
Stephanie
Hardy
and Carmen
Boys.
Petrovich. Yeah,
Oh yeah, Stephanie and Carmen, because Carmen
Right.
shockingly
Delicious.
became #1 contender.
Yeah, and Jada Parker was very upset.
Very much
Very
so.
open. Very open.
Yeah, I
That's
heard
a punishment for saying the N-word, I guess.
Yeah, something happened
Carmen
there with
Petrovich.
Jada Parker's clothes.
That's wild.
It was
Like
talking.
her booty hole was hanging out or something. I don't know.
Nah, it was talking. Yeah, it was saying hi.
I find it weird considering that
damn.
Moose is fighting Lexus King
Yeah.
just for him to face Obafemi at some point. So
That's
he's
his
supposed to be taking
appetizer.
2 losses, right?
That's his appetizer.
Or he's gonna win,
yes,
which would be
winning the Heritage Cup would actually be amazing.
Yeah, it would be interesting. And here's the thing too, like even though Lexus King is from Cincinnati, he's not super popular around here.
He's not super popular
So,
anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, for him to lose in Cincinnati wouldn't be out of the question. Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to that actually. Me and a buddy of mine, but I usually work on Tuesdays, so it's not gonna be easy. But I really want to.
Triple H used to work on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
Then he didn't want to, and then JBL became champion.
Damn it.
How do we feel about the name change as well? Because that's something that we like to always mention on here, because name changes are a really important thing in wrestling because it's how you identify a person. So Ricky Starks is Ricky Saints.
I don't care about Ricky Saints or Ricky Starks or Ricky whatever. I think he's ridiculous. I think Ricky's ridiculously overrated.
So like his pretentious gimmick?
Dude, I don't like that his promos always seem like he's not talking about what he's supposed to be talking about.
He's the next, according to Edge, he's the next Rock.
Dude, people in the business love him.
Work with the Rock.
People in the business love him.
I don't see.
I work with his cousin.
Is this Keith's hot take for the day?
It can be. Ever since Ricky Starks debuted in NWA, people have been kissing that dude's ass and talking about how he's the future of wrestling and he's this and he's that. I have never gotten it, dude. And I don't hate on wrestlers often, but his promos make no sense. Like I can't follow what he's doing. I just don't understand him. And I don't get the hype. I don't get it. There you go. That's my face every time I see Ricky Starks. I do the Cody face.
Every time I listen to him,
what are you talking about, dude? Like, and maybe I'm slow. Maybe I'm just not getting it. Maybe Ricky Starks is freaking brilliant, but I don't get it.
What you're saying about Ricky Starks?
Yeah,
there are a lot of people that think that about Joe Hendry. They don't get it.
There are not that many.
Well, those people are silly. The Joe Hendry stuff is amazing. No. Yeah, the Joe Hendry stuff makes perfect sense.
So what's the difference if you don't get Ricky Starks if I don't get Joe Hendry?
Because I can explain to you why the Joe Hendry stuff is good. I would challenge someone to explain to me what's so good about Ricky Starks. And if someone can, maybe they'll win me over. You know what I mean? But I don't understand.
They treat
he
him
literally seems like he's not.
In the movie Grease.
He seems like he's not capable of cognitive thought.
Well, I think that might be his gimmick. Is
it his gimmick or is it just? I don't know. His personality. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like a more smug Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I don't understand him. They don't understand how
to book him either, because I don't understand what this
Ricky Saints
to be Ego and Wesley against Ricky Saints and Javon Evans next week. which is
random tag generator.
exactly random tag generator. The game. It's him against Ethan Page. I do like because
sure
they're both just egomaniacs. They're gonna go ego for ego.
Same with Wes. I mean,
they all have egos. I have a big
Yeah.
ego. I can back it up though.
Indeed.
And I'm
I
good
mean,
on play.
I like Wesley. I like Ethan Page. I don't like Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints, whatever. I don't like Javon. Javon Evans is the same as Ricky Saints. I don't get him either, and I don't think his promos are good.
They're very different, but I agree about the fact.
But it's the same. It's the same issues. I have the same issues with both of them, though. I don't think Javon Evans' promos make all that much sense either. I think he just says the stuff that he's going to say, whether it fits the situation or not. And that's the same thing that I feel like Ricky does. They just
bring it back to whatever, and like they'll just completely disregard what the other person says.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense. I just don't. Yeah, I'm the young OG. I'm bouncy. Like, it has nothing to do with what. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. I'm getting freaking flustered.
Young OG doesn't make sense. For being honest.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. That's a what's the word? What am I looking for?
It is a oxymoron.
Thank you, sir. That was the word I was looking for.
Shout out to one of my old interviews, what I did, the Oxymorons, where they're a rock rap fusion.
That's amazing.
Check them out. They're pretty good. It's Oxymorons, but with 2 R's.
Cool. Speaking of rock rap fusions, Harley Cameron.
Harley Cameron, I'm still kind of upset that they dropped the ball on that, but I will say for free, and I wanted to mention this because we've indie spotlighted a lot of really good wrestlers lately.
Yeah.
Or Megan Bain looks like she is going to be taking that TBS title or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
She looks like an absolute superstar.
She does. Yeah.
Looks the part, she wrestles the part, and I feel like if you're going to give somebody a realistic chance of beating the money machine,
get on the money train.
Yeah, it's going to be her. I can't see Megan Bain losing anytime next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't oppose to that.
They're booking her. I think they've booked her okay. Her against Stat made sense.
It was a teaser, but Penelope kind of like ruined the fun. And then what the hell happened with Thunder Rosa though? Like, first of all, surprised he's on Dynamite. That's ain't no Britt Baker not there.
Mm-hmm. Well, they had to get rid of one for the other, I suppose.
Yeah.
I see you.
Also, I love how they completely went off the Jeff Jarrett trade because they jumped off the Jeff Jarrett train because they heard our podcast. They were like, you know what? We're going to make it MJF against Hangman.
Yeah.
This is why people don't understand AEW or why people think Tony Khan is a blithering idiot, because you got Jeff Jarrett coming out, talking about how he wants to end his career in AEW and how he wants to be the champ and this, that, and the third. And then you have MJF come out and cut the heel promos, and then he's got beef with Hangman, and Jarrett's nowhere to be seen for the last month and a half.
Because Jeff Jarrett they already have an old guy who actually can work and cut promos that people actually give a crap about. Okay. They don't need 2 of them.
Right. They don't need 4 of them because you still got Christian.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Depending on how old you think Samoa Joe is.
Yeah, I was totally talking about Dustin Rhodes, but
I
figured we already knew you was talking about Dustin. I knew you wanted Dustin.
People still care about Dustin Rhodes for whatever reason. No one gives a crap about Jeff Jarrett.
Funny thing is MJF was just beating up old people for the last few weeks, and now he's going against somebody who's actually relatively young. Interesting enough that they bring up the fact that they fought in 2019.
Nice.
The final.
I do like where they're going with it because, Hangman is the most polarizing character AEW has ever had.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to deny Hangman in the ring. Like, I think he's, pretty talented guy, and he has been for a long time.
Yeah.
But he also has been really protected, and you know,
And,
that is what it is.
I am hoping that we get some good for Revolution. I'm hoping we get some good matches and all of that. I'm thinking that there'll be some title changes, hopefully to it in the same match. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's funny that like I was so excited for Max to pick up AEW. I was like, I can watch this and maybe I can get into it. Maybe I can see, the redeeming things about it. And it's a struggle to watch it. I make sure I watch NXT every week. I make sure I watch Raw every week. I watch TNA as often as I can. But AEW is just it seems almost like a chore. And it's weird.
That's what it's been for a lot of people. I can see what you're saying because it's like you're trying to get behind the stuff and you're trying to understand the booking, but then you realize there's a lot of nonsensical little tidbits that
me, I'm the opposite. I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown, I watch Dynamite and Collision, and I try to do what I can with NXT, but TNA I just can't do it.
Yeah. I guess there's different tastes for everybody, but
and even with AEW, everything's on the DVR, so I can fast forward if I don't like shit.
Yeah. I can't even put my finger on what it is about it. Like, it's just, I'm watching it and I'm just like, man, is this over yet? And I'm not generally like that about wrestling.
Well, I just like to understand where they're going with this Ricochet, Prince Nana, and this cope against the Death Riders, and like where it's leading to.
I mean, it just seems like the Death Riders are a modern day NWO, and it's getting old.
Well, and Chris Jericho, they're not even adding people though. It's just like
it's just those four guys.
The NWO, but they also want to it's like they want to see the house that they're in burn down.
Yeah. But John Moxley loves AEW.
I love his place.
He loves AEW.
The same way Fatu loves Solo, but he just won't say it now because he's pissed off because Solo's wearing white now.
Weird. And Jericho's embarrassing.
I was about to say we wear
that Street Fight was fun.
We wear black on Fridays. You don't need a white turtleneck showing that you're. That showed me immediately. It was like, oh, they're planting the seed of deception here.
Yeah.
And Tongaloa and Hikuleo and Lance are going to come in, and then the new bloodline. And I've been calling for it for months. It seems like, but
dude, speaking of a new bloodline, did you guys see the Steiner brothers stuff?
Is it a younger brother is getting
Yeah, so one of Bronson Reed's Bronson Braun Breaker. He's freaking bronze. Dude, I'm so old. I can't believe that I just screw people's names up and stuff randomly now. This was not
Scott Steiner's kid signed. I saw that.
Yeah, one of Scott Steiner's kids signed to NIL, and then his other kid, or one of his cousins maybe, but another Rex Steiner said that he was going to be coming soon too, and that there was going to be like a Steiner bloodline. And he was probably just, talking crap, but
I think people don't understand how good the Steiners really were.
Yeah,
man.
I used to love the Steiners.
I say that they are one of those where they were ahead of their time. With their team offense, the ability, to have the rough and gruff. Yeah, they were the first North, like obviously the rough and gruff Rick with his headgear, and then you had the pretty boy Scott with his long flowing hair and his chiseled jawline.
Yeah. I mean, the Steiner brothers. I think one of the things that people don't get about the Steiners too is they were so incredibly strong that they could have matches with Doom, and they could have matches with the Road Warriors, and they could have matches with the Skyscrapers. But at the same time, they were athletic enough and talented enough that they could wrestle smaller teams too.
Yeah, a big guy like that doing a Frankensteiner from the top freaking rope.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
Rick Steiner going to do their
The
version
Bulldog.
of the device,
You know?
the Bulldog. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The Bulldog off the top rope, and they could just run, like they could go. You know what I mean? They could hang with anybody.
there's a
And
heck of a lot of tag teams that are copying the Steiners still.
for sure, yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of which, though,
The Viking Raiders or whatever they're called. I mean,
I'm
definitely.
wondering where the Street Profits are going to go with what they're doing, but
Right.
I would like
Yeah.
to see some new blood in that tag team division at least.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the first.
And hope that Triple H is not like the old man was, splitting up tag teams for no reason and then putting
Yeah.
random people together for no reason. That's what
Yeah.
Vince used to do all the time.
Yeah.
A good example would have been the Smoking Guns.
Yeah.
And look where Billy went and look where Bart went.
Well, I think that was a charisma issue. more than
Let's see.
anything.
Let's just say Bart was the Marty of the tag team.
Yeah.
Funny thing enough is that when you were talking about the Steiners, right? I
Yeah.
had watched, it was a video that was circulating online of Braun Breaker's his college football highlights and how much of a beast he was.
Yeah.
You know, being like a lead blocker and runner, like, and being able, like, his ability to run as fast as he is and be as fluid as he is in the ring, as young as he is as well.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the what Ren Sinclair is doing now on Instagram?
Questions.
No.
Yeah. Ren's Day, baby.
Yeah.
She's kind of bringing back the Maddie Rinkowski stuff, but she's asking herself the questions. So every Ren's Day, she answers.
Hey, okay, yeah. I know you
Answers
want
questions.
to go on. I know you want to go on a Wednesday.
I do, man. I gotta think of something.
Yeah, think of something nice for her, so you get the round table on there.
Yeah, maybe she'll
Like,
maybe she'll shout us out, dude. But she's super entertaining, and the Ren's Day stuff is funny. It's on Instagram.
By the way, speaking of Instagram, there is something that came up about Logan Paul being accused of flirting with Minnesota's own Pride of Prior Lake, Tiffany Stratton.
It was clearly just set up. I mean,
And
but
on Impulsive, Logan Paul made a statement saying Michael Hayes started it or something like that. Which throwing Michael P.S. Hayes under the bus is definitely not groovy. That's so not.
Yeah, I heard she turned down for like someone else, like Joe Rogan or something like that. I don't know. I might have heard that.
I wonder who would win in a shoot. Ludwig or Logan Paul?
Joe Rogan and Logan Paul?
No, Ludwig.
Ludwig would
yeah.
I don't know actually. I
don't know.
They'd make a good match, but
Right.
Logan Paul would have to be baby fed the match, so I don't know if Ludwig Kaiser can run a match like that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Baby Low would be cheered just.
Kilo, do you have a hot take? Because I mentioned one of my hot takes. Do you have a hot take that you wanna mention just in passing? Something that you don't think is a popular opinion. We know Chad's is that TNA is worse than AEW. That's a hot take.
Yeah.
Mine is that I've never liked The Miz except like kind of right now.
Well,
I kind of like,
I've never liked him either.
I guess it's not that hot of a take anymore.
I think The Miz is pretty good. So
or his dumbass wife.
I've been getting around on The Miz the last few years, last couple of years. But hot take. Let's set this one up for a minute. I would say
Boogeyman should have been champion.
He should have been champion.
We know that.
Yeah, he would have done it.
He shouldn't have lied either, though.
Hey, everybody lies.
Well, yeah.
When they sleep.
Keith, we won't talk about who's lying.
Hey, now.
Yeah. I ain't ever thought of that one before. Something else I thought was. Shit.
The Hardys are the second best tag team ever.
It
The
is
Hardys are about the 90th best tag team ever.
It is.
Yeah, if
it
I'm
is
making a hot
for-
100, the Hardys might be 90.
It is want to become
We're
the
gonna have to
next
come up
Hardy
with a
Boys.
tier list then.
Best tag team of all time is Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane.
Oh, that's tough.
Come on, man.
Weird pronunciation of the Lucha Bros.
The Lucha Bros. Oh, Lord. Oof, that is it, yeah.
Dude,
if I ever get my passport, I've never left the country before, but when I do, I want to go to Ching Chong, China.
I got my passport because I'm doing a convention up in Canada.
Nice.
I've been to Canada. That's nice up there.
By the way, Keith.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing shows again. I'm trying to get a hold of Brian, and he ain't get back to me. I want to come to
I don't know
again.
what's going on with him, dude. I don't know what's going on.
On other sports news, because we doesn't have to just be about wrestling.
Yeah. What do we got?
How do you guys feel about the Canada-United States final that they had for that Four Nations, that brand new format that they have going on for NHL?
I knew it was going to be hockey, but I have no idea.
Canada booing the national anthem.
Canada booing the national anthem?
The game won, and then there was 3 fights in the first minute, and that became a big thing. And then Canada ended up winning the series 2-1, I believe, and they won in overtime. Connor McDavid, just
my cousin
Finningham too. Whoever was the goalie for Canada, he did his due diligence there. He did a really good job. But yeah, them booing. I imagine because 2-time reigning defending commander-in-chief said that he wanted to make them 51st state.
Yep. He wants to make
whole freaking country.
He wants to make 3 different places states: Canada, Greenland, and somewhere else. I can't remember what it was.
He doesn't care about Puerto Rico at all.
Nope. And then can somebody please explain to me why if you Google the Gulf of Mexico, it's now the Gulf of America?
Mexico is suing Google.
Yeah,
because the world makes no sense.
Now
they say one that made it happen.
Somebody that thinks they know everything but don't told me that like many, I don't know, hundreds of years ago or many years ago or whatever, that used to be America's thing or property, but we sold it to Mexico and they never paid us. They never paid America for it. So Trump wants to take it back. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I want Trump to leave. I want Trump to freaking leave the federal funding for education alone. That's all I give a crap about.
Me too.
Well, didn't he just dissolve the Department of Education?
A judge blocked it. A judge blocked it.
Yeah,
so he wasn't allowed to.
A judge, I believe, a judge in the Supreme Court blocked it.
He said, yeah, Supreme Court judge blocked it. He said that it violated the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so he was not able to do it.
I mean, I think a lot of these executive orders are BS.
Yeah, but
are we getting a Trump face turn and heel Elon Musk WrestleMania?
Maybe they're talking about Elon Musk wants to give us all $5,000. So if he's going to give me $5,000,
well, that's going to turn into a tweener. He's trying to.
Yeah, if he's going to give me $5,000, I might start liking that dude. But
so here's a question, right? If they were to do a Vince Donald fight where Elon had a wrestler against Donald Trump's wrestler, who would be representing who?
Well, Bobby Lashley would obviously be representing Donald Trump. He did it before.
Right.
Entire Hurt Syndicate with Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Whole crew.
Who would Elon Musk get?
Who could Elon Musk get?
Logan Paul.
Mega Power.
JBL.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember this or not, but JBL got in trouble for doing a Nazi salute in Germany.
No, I don't remember that.
So there you go.
Elon Musk doubled down with that salute too.
So
Yeah,
then,
dude, it is
so then who
actually
would this one get?
it
'Cause
is
it'd be a
actually
triple threat.
illegal. It's illegal to do a Nazi salute in Germany, and JBL didn't know. So he was over there wrestling as a heel, and he did it. And this was in the 90s. And they were going to put him in prison. Like, he almost didn't get to leave the country. But he was like, they convinced the WWE convinced the German government that it was part of a theatrical performance. That was the only way that he got to leave the country. Because he did like a goose step and a freaking Nazi salute.
That's wild.
Yeah, in Germany. I think it was in West Germany, which is even worse. Like, yeah.
Oh, wrong
But
side
anyway.
of the wall, but darn.
Yeah.
He almost got himself.
Yeah. Yeah, he almost got locked up for good, dude. But anyway, TNA Wrestling signed Mackenzie Mitchell. And on her first night on the job as the ring announcer, she said that Xia Li was from Ching Chong, China. I've been trying to get somebody to talk about it this whole freaking podcast. I'm just gonna say it. Ching Chong, China.
I wanted to.
It's not a place. It's not a place.
By the way, it's Lei Yi. Lei Yi.
Yeah, she changed her name. I know. I just couldn't remember what it was. Lei Yi. Yay. What is it? Sorry, I don't want to screw it
Say
up.
that fast 5 times and watch you struggle.
Yeah.
Lei Yi Ling.
Yay, Li Ying. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Still said it wrong, but I'll let it go.
Okay, right on. I'll do the research.
It's impossible.
But Ching Chong, China's not a place.
It's not. It's very much not, and it's crazy that was even a thing.
Your first night on the job, or on TV anyway.
But by the way, speaking of TNA, they did mention that it will be the Hardys and Obafemi against the system.
6-man, yeah.
So I'd like to see, this is the kind of thing that I wanted to see with the NXT TNA merger. I just, again, little brothering NXT and TNA together kind of just seems very respectful.
Do you think the Ren Quarter Catch Crew could win the TNA tag titles?
No. I would like
Neither do I.
I thought they could have beaten Fraxium. I thought it would have been a cool way of getting it off of them because I don't see but I think Fraxium might lose it to the Hardys. It would be weird. It would be weird. It would be weird, but think about it. The Hardys have done everything but. The Hardys have done everything in the world but win the NXT titles.
No.
I know. It's
Fraxium needs to lose it to one of these NXT teams.
But which one?
I don't know.
Exactly.
That match with Jox,
there is no viable
Tank and Tank. Tank and Tank, man.
HUC or
Tank and Tank can go. Like, they can move just as well as Fraxium, and they're bigger. You know?
But are they better? And are they
No, they are not better. But if they're going to lose to somebody, I would rather have them lose to one of these NXT teams that's been down there, than the freaking 80-year-old Hardys.
And then just for the Hardys to lose it, just for Hardys to lose it to AJ Francis and Casey Navarro.
Franchini. My guest this week, you could say that he has style. Some call him phenomenal. It's me. It's freaking stupid. God.
He's an idiot. I hate.
We have wrestling royalty. Noella Foley.
Shout out to Mick Foley's hot daughter.
Indeed, yeah. And some other guy, the king, the Joker King, or whatever the hell that other guy's name was. Like, I don't even know who that guy is.
Same thing. I had no idea who they were referencing.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy was. But
shout out
some
to
TikTokers that no one knows about.
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah.
And also, shout out to Ching Chong China and
Ching Chong China.
them apparently they had to okay it. You know that Santino had to go to China and okay that joke.
Yeah. You had to be like, can we say Ching Chong China?
And they were like, what? And he was like, okay,
Well,
cool.
now like they're backpedaling on it and saying that she just mispronounced her actual hometown, which is like Chong is in it. It's like Chongjian, China, or something like that, but it's not. It's not Ching Chong, China. It's not anything even remotely close to that. So I don't buy it. I think it was supposed to be funny, and
It wasn't.
it was not. Yeah, it was not.
Yeah. You miss every shot you don't take, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, it could have been hysterical. But dude, you know what was funny when she said it? I was like, that can't be a real place. Like, like I wasn't immediately like, whoa. I was just like, dude, there's no way that's real. And then I Googled it and was like, yeah, definitely not real.
Yeah, you Google Ching Chong China.
Yeah, I did Google Ching Chong China. Yeah.
You can ask Siri, is this a real place?
Is there really a place called Ching Chong China? Yeah. There was not.
There's no place.
Siri's like,
There was not.
obviously not.
Hey, Alexa.
I got a hot take though, not the socks off your tails.
What you got, brother?
I'm not wearing socks, but go ahead.
The hell? Oh, there it is.
I think Pablo's frozen.
Yeah, I froze too. Everything froze for a hot second, but AEW made wrestling cool again. That's my hot take.
Hot takes.
That's my
That's
hot
pretty
take.
hot.
Because think about it. Ever since then, we've been seeing a lot of celebrities and all these events, and now they've even putting them out even more often. Think about it. And then look at all the alternates. We had Lamar Jackson at a freaking wrestling event. We had Rick Ross. Rick Ross at a wrestling event. Who'd have thought I would see that?
You put it,
The biggest
put it in
boss.
champagne. She didn't even know it.
Bun B? Who'd have thought I
Bun B. Oh man.
I like that. Action Bronson, just for him.
Action Bronson too. West Side Gun, boo, 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 boo. All these.
By the way, if you like wrestling related rap music, that West Side
Action Bronson
album. That no, not even that. Even though Action Bronson, yes, he does have some. But West Side Gun's new album 12, there's a lot of references on there. But he's also, they run the heel have eyes, so like, they obviously they are in wrestling, and every time.
If you like wrestling related rap music, you should listen to the West Texas Rednecks.
Nah.
Let's see, maybe.
You guys familiar with Mega Ran?
What happened?
Mega Ran? Are you familiar with Mega Ran?
No, I don't believe so.
Mega Ran's pretty decent. He's got a bunch of like wrestling themed albums. Matt Mania 2. I think there's even a Matt Mania 3. And he makes beats out of entrance themes and then raps over top of them.
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty dope. Yeah. I like him.
Time to play the game.
Yep, he has one of those. He's got one about Jake Snake. Yeah. Yeah, Mega Ran's pretty dope. And if you don't like him,
You don't like him, we don't like you.
I never heard of him.
Yeah, check him out, man. I mean, he's pretty popular, honestly. He's done some remixes for people too, but like, and he doesn't just do wrestling songs, but a big part of his shtick is wrestling songs. Like, he's obviously a wrestling fan, and he's made whole albums. That
I just realized
rap about wrestling.
John Cena.
John Cena
mixed with China.
John Cena, man. John Cena. Need to buy that action figure.
Yeah.
John Cena.
I just see John in the little lipstick. I'm just a little disturbed. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. All right, guys. We got anything else? I'm super tired. I feel like we're winding down a little bit.
I'd say it's
energy's getting low.
It's time to get some food into my system. I woke up for this.
Yeah, right on.
We will talk about there's a few things going on next week. We'll talk about the Elimination Chamber because it's right before.
Yeah. Are we gonna do a watch along? Anybody want to hop on a watch along for the Elimination Chamber?
I'll
Wouldn't be
watch
against
along.
this.
I
I'll
can
watch
do that.
along. I'll watch along.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll check us out on YouTube, Roundtable Wrestling. Check us out. You can also listen to us on Spotify.
We have a space.
Yeah.
Fill the void that is your wrestling needs in life. You know.
I've been recording some exclusive stuff for the Patreon. I'm not exactly sure when I think the Patreon's already up. I don't know how much it is. I don't know anything about it, but there should be links. Hopefully Tyler will fill us in on that.
I mean,
So,
nice.
yeah.
We got things in the works, and obviously keep up on your wrestling news. There's a lot of stuff going on, and if you don't keep up, Cody Rhodes is gonna look at you.
I'm gonna tell you.
Be very confused.
He'll be like, "Wait, my actual soul?"
Right, like, what's it? Why you want my soul, dog?
The belt's more important than my soul.
The
No,
interesting
Cody.
thing is that
I don't want that.
if Cody doesn't take this 52-year-old's offer and ends up, by passing it over, does somebody else take that offer? Does a Drew McIntyre, who's on a losing streak,
Drew McIntyre may not even have a soul, so.
Well,
That's so lame.
all the things
So
he's
if he
done.
doesn't have one, he can't give it to The Rock.
Yeah. We may have already given it to somebody else, so.
Well, we
They
have
sold it for 62 cents.
Mhm.
That would be interesting, though. Like, Cody refuses whatever this deal is, and The Rock goes looking for somebody to be his champion.
Yeah, or maybe it's tying into the whole mafioso thing where he's going to be this Martin Scorsese movie, and he's going to be like
Right.
with Leonardo DiCaprio, and
Makes sense.
We'll see, because it seems like Toni Storm did the same thing where she mentioned the Queen of the Ring movie finally in the
Yeah.
she got a very big ovation as well getting out there.
Tony time.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
right.
her
Run better be her best.
much like other things, the women's division is possibly the best thing in AEW.
I know, and that's
Yeah.
what's shocking.
And it's
They're
getting
getting
better.
killer.
There's a lot to look forward to. I would say I'm not as down or skeptical about the direction that AEW is going right now, because they have such a mass amount of talent that you almost can't do anything wrong with them. But you actually have to let them wrestle.
Right.
you
Well,
know?
I'll check it out tonight and see
Yeah,
if
check
I
it
can
out.
get through it. Yeah.
I'm going to be watching the UFC fight tonight in a matter
yeah.
of hours. I'm gonna be
14.
streaming it legally or not.
Hey, now.
Oh. Oh, boy.
Figuring all that stuff out.
Yeah.
I hope you all have a good rest of your week.
You too, brother.
You too. I'm gonna be trying
You
to
as
catch
well.
up on some wrestling.
Everybody have a
Check
good
out
one.
you too.
There's plenty to catch up on, but
Peace.
if anybody feels overwhelmed, just know that we're doing our best to keep you informed.
Yeah, I would like to say before we go that Fatal Influence is the most cohesive unit since the Freebirds.
They
That was
run
Macho Man
cohesive
instead of Booker T, but you guys get the point.
Yeah, we get the point.
All right. Later, y'all.
Later.